Hey guys, it's Tiffany with Wise Skies, and we're doing your Free Tarot Friday. We're going to take a look at the horoscope through the tarot. So we start with Aries and we go all the way through Pisces, and we just are asking for a little bit of insight and wisdom for the weekend, for the coming week, just a message that somebody needs to hear right now. And hi One Queen, nice to see you. It is rainy and drizzly here in Austin. Okay, let's start and clear the deck for Aries. We'll jump right in. Clear the deck for Aries. Oops. Okay, here we go. So what do the Aries in our lives need to hear today? Okay. All right, Aries. It looks like you're leaving something. It looks like you need to leave a situation. Okay, so the Queen of Wands, that's a good indicator of Aries. This is somebody who's in action, who's going somewhere, who has direction, who has gas in the tank, who has a lot of energy. All right, and then we've got the Eight of Cups, and this is a card of leaving a situation, of finding completion, of saying no, of choosing to walk away from something, choosing to end something. Right, and then we've got the Three of Cups here. So some of you may be ending a relationship because there were more than two people in it. Some of you may be saying, having a roommate move out. Some of you may be rehoming a pet. Like, there's all kinds of ways you could interpret this. But ultimately, Aries, it looks like it's time to find closure or completion with something in your life. Okay, that was for Aries. For Taurus, let's clear the deck for Taurus and see if we can find some simple information for Taurus. Okay. Clear for Taurus. What did the Taurus need to hear? Taurus, are you in a fight not worth having because nobody wins? Are you looking in the wrong direction? Taurus, the simple advice is to kind of get in your car and drive in the direction you want to drive in. And that could be like thinking the thoughts that you want to think. So sometimes we get stuck in analysis paralysis, or we get stuck thinking like in the kind of, oh, this is awful, I really hate this situation. And we create more of that situation, or sometimes we get on the phone to vent, but it ends up kind of working magic. It ends up kind of creating more of that which you don't want. So the advice really is to kind of get in your car, or get on the, I say car, but I mean, your physical body, your mental plane, and get in the direction that you want to be going. This is a positive card, so you have the power to change this situation, Taurus. So whatever, if there's something that you've been just kind of chewing on or gossiping about or thinking on too much or picking a fight, change your mind. Change your mind first. Okay, so that was for Taurus. Let's look at Gemini. Let's clear the deck for Gemini. Hopefully there's some Geminis out there today. Okay. All right, what advice do our Gemini friends need to hear? Gosh. That's the instruction card. So the weather's kind of, I wouldn't say grim, but we haven't had a whole lot of positive readings this morning. That for Gemini, this is the card of rest. This is the card of giving it a rest is kind of the advice that goes with it. There could have been a lot of anxieties or overcommitments, or something that you've been chewing on that is kind of going crazy with the hamster wheel in the head. This is a card for Gemini about giving it a rest and spending some time alone. Very tricky for Geminis to do because they're social creatures. They like to make a lot of plans. They like to be around people. But this is a card of kind of self-care. Okay, so for Gemini, give it a rest and some alone time. Okay, so Aries, Taurus, Gemini. The next one is Cancer in the zodiac. So we'll do Cancer next. What do our Cancers need to know? clear for Cancers. This could be Cancer Sun, Moon, or Rising. Okay, the Five of Cups. This is this is a card of being bored. It's the card of boredom. And then this is the Chariot. Okay, so can we get any clarification? So kind of similar to Gemini, but different. You know, it's like where the Gemini reading was more like, I'm kind of doing this in my head. The Cancer reading is like, I'm just kind of bored. I'm doing the status quo thing, and I'm ready to get going, but I'm kind of looking in the wrong direction. So this is a card about changing your perspective first. Again, it's very similar to Gemini. The tone is just a little bit different. It's not so much stress as it is like meh. You can see that he's got 2 cups that are spilled and 3 that are full. So he has stuff to be grateful about. He's just kind of meh about it, you know, kind of bored about it. And similar here, she's just looking at all of the shit pile of laundry and set it in the direction that she wants to be going. Okay, so it's just a card about shifting perspectives. You also have gas in the tank. You also have a yes, a victory, a win right ahead of you. So pretty, you know, basic. After Cancer comes Leo, so let's do Leo next. Let's clear the deck for Leo. So many cards just fell. All right. Clear the deck for Leo. What do our Leo friends need to know that will give them some practical advice and guidance or assurance? Okay. All right, Leos, it looks like you've got a financial decision ahead of you. So it's like you might be dealing with, or you might be this person, but you might be dealing with a Knight of Coins, somebody that's kind of on their way up, that is up and coming, that doesn't have an established career yet, but that is kind of exploring their options and trying to figure out where their strengths are. Ultimately, there's a decision to be made within that realm. You know, like, what am I doing? What am I going to major in college? I have a business. Do I want it to go this way or that way? I'm unhappy with my career. Do I say yes or no to it? You know, so some kind of decision around money where it's I don't want to say half-baked, but it's not all quite, you don't quite have all the information yet, and you're really looking for money. So when you're trying to make your decision, you know that the most fruitful thing for you, like, is this an income earner, or is this something I'm doing out of my passion? You know, and it doesn't have to be either or, it can be both and, but in this case, the money card's coming up. So Leos are really great about finding their passion, but maybe not as great about making it financially feasible. So this is like a call to, whenever you're kind of looking at decisions and looking at the world and still you're yearning and thinking about like what it could be out there, just kind of weigh the pros and cons and do an asset list of you know, what's the assets, what are the losses available, like do the pro and con list of your financial decision. Okay, so Leo, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo. Let's do Virgo next. So for Virgo, clearing the deck for Virgo, that one wanted to fall out. It's the Moon card, so let's get some clarification for Virgos on the Moon. Okay, 7 of Coins. So the Moon card, this is a card that comes up when we need more information, or we don't have enough information, or we're being deceived. It can be the card of deception. So Virgos, just be aware, be on alert. We just went through a massive Mercury-Neptune square yesterday, and I know a lot of people were just feeling toxic and irritated and crazy and, you know, kind of overdrive. But, you know, anyways, this is a card of not quite having enough information. So if you just let a little time pass, more will be revealed. It's not like good or bad, it's just more information, right? What you do with it can be up to you. So the 7 of Coins comes in as well, and the 7 of Coins, this is somebody who's waiting on her harvest. And so both of these cards kind of give Virgo the sense of waiting, you know, and that's okay. It's like, even, you know, the Virgos I know are having some fun with life right now. They're doing big things, but it's almost like more is yet to come. More will be revealed, and just stick with it. The harvest is coming. So no major changes for Virgos right now. I mean, in terms of the weekend, you know, you don't have to strive for anything because more is coming. You planted some seeds and they're on the way. All right, so Virgo, after Virgo is Libra. Let's do Libra next. Clear the deck for Libra. Clear for Libra. What do our Libras need to know or hear that would give them some extra medicine? All right. Why do I keep going? Okay, because sometimes I'm asking for clarification. So for Libra, this too, you know, we had this card, similar card earlier, but this card is like a next step. It's not like you're just kind of need to give it a rest. It's like this is, the Nine of Swords is the card of anxiety, the card of staying up, the card of tumultuous emotions, tumultuous inner mental space. Okay, this can be kind of fighting yourself, your inner demons, but it can also manifest in the external world, so kind of bumping up against your people, your loved ones, and all that is when you're finding these challenges, that's kind of the medicine that's coming to you to work with. So if it's a challenge, or if you've screwed up, or if you've caused it, or if somebody's bothering you, it doesn't really matter who caused it. The fact is you're bothered, you know, and so what are we going to do about it? Or you've been bothered at least. And so what we're going to do about it, the Six of Coins card, this is a card of generosity, you know, so when you're nervous, be of service, right? So, and what kind of service? You know, the Queen of Coins type of service. This is the woman or man, you know, this is the energy of having people over for dinner, of giving away, you know, some spiritual gifts, of helping people walk a path of sobriety, or finding their best health plan, or getting them into yoga class, or it's just kind of like what you can do to help people nest and find themselves. When you're nervous, be of service, help somebody else out, and more will be revealed. You know, whatever you've been agitated about might not even be true, okay? So that was Libra. After Libra comes Scorpio, so we'll do Scorpio next. We'll clear the deck for Scorpio. See what we've got for our Scorpio friends. Clear for Scorpio. What does Scorpio need to hear? Some practical advice for our Scorps. Clear for Scorpio. Okay. Okay. Well, so the Five of Coins, this is the card of kind of major expenses, you know, money going out the window. And then there's a Fool card, so it's like, don't be foolish, don't go overboard. Like, it's already, the drain's already happened. Don't continue to kind of make immature decisions financially. All right? I needed some more information about that because I'm a Scorpio that has had a lot of expenses this last week. And it's not necessarily, you know, something that you have to beat yourself up about, but it's like, okay, let's kind of check in with the budget and what can we fix and, you know, cancel, clear, delete, and do better. The Four of Wands, this is about kind of finding stability within motion. Okay, so this whole reading really speaks to me, so I'll show you how it's playing out in my life, and maybe that'll relate on an energetic pathway with some of you. So I've moved this week, and it was probably double what I thought it was going to be. There's been a lot of, you know, and it's not like I picked a Virgo moon. There were no major complicating factors. There wasn't any reason to believe it should have been haywire. There was some miscommunication that just kind of screwed me up for a week, and it made me feel like an idiot, you know. But it wasn't my fault. It was like, what's going on here, you know. And so it cost me a lot of money, and it didn't have to. Finding stability in motion. You know, I'm sitting with a bunch of boxes around me. There's workers in and out. My loved ones are coming and going. And so how can I kind of be here and peaceful when my world is like this, you know? And it's the holidays. It's my first holiday without my mom, right? There's a lot of availability to go haywire. So how can I find stability within motion, right? Makes sense? And then the Nine of Cups, Scorpio, you get your wish. So similar to the readings that we saw earlier, you know, if you, whatever you put your mind to, whatever you focus on grows. So if you're calling to vent with your friends, if you're calling to express negative energy, make sure that you spend an equal amount of time or more resetting the vibe and really formulating in your heart what you're wanting to attract. You know, being the kindness, being the loving partner that you want, being the good friend that you wish you had stepping in, you know, those type of things. It's not like, I'm going to wish for $200 and boom, I get a new client. It's not that kind of energy. It's like feeling abundance already, feeling grateful for what I have. And how that works, so this is a lesson for everybody, not just Scorpios. When you think about something, guys, consider that where that thought is, right? So if I ask you what you had for breakfast, most people think over here on the left side, like, oh, I had, past tense, pumpkin paleo waffles and some tea, right? Well, if I ask you what you're having for dinner, I have to think this way. Oh, I'm having, future, this way, I'm going to have a really amazing salad from my friend's recipe, okay? And so your thoughts are somewhere. They're not here, you know, they're here on the thought field and the quantum field. And so, why the hell am I talking about this? The Nine of Cups card. So it's being grateful conjures that wish, because it's you're usually grateful for things that have happened in the past. So if I'm grateful that my move went really smoothly, you know, maybe today it'll go a lot better, right? So those are just some ideas for like, oh, you get your wish, but you want to actively work with that by feeling the feelings of the things that you're wishing for, not just like poofing an intention out there, right? Okay, so a little bit of lesson for everybody. After Scorpio, that's 8, so 9 comes Sagittarius. Let's clear the deck for Sag and see what we can find for Sagittarius. Clear for Sag. Okay, you jumped out. Clear for Sag. What do our Sagittarius friends need to know or hear? Some practical advice for the Sages we love. Okay. All right. So it looks like, I'm going to keep looking. Sorry, paint this more. So it looks like for Sagittarius, you know, we started out the readings with some kind of unfun, uncomfortable ones, and we're going back that direction here. So the King of Swords, this is a pretty big argument. It's a pretty big internal conflict, you know, usually kind of masculine oriented. And then we've got the Justice card with the Seven of Swords. So on one level, I tell people, don't involve yourself in the karma of something if you don't have to, you know, like just keep the high road. The karma police are taking care of this for you. But when it's coupled with the Seven of Swords, it kind of makes, the Seven of Swords, I tell people, protect yourself, change your password, watch out for theft, you know, and that can be at a very practical level. It can be at an emotional level too, though, you know, kind of being blackmailed in a way. All right, so when we have these three cards together, you know, that's kind of bothersome. I would say that, you know, something, it's almost like you feel like you've been wronged, like you feel like you've been cheated in life, and that your situation blows, and that nobody's looking out for you. You know, there's maybe some self-pity going on, and so that's kind of real talk for Sagittarius. So what do we need to do with that? You know, these are the two cards that I like to see together, because it just kind of reminds me, like, you're working on your life's greatest, it's like chop wood and carry water. You're working on your life's greatest mission. So whatever you feel like you've been screwed about, just know that you're going through the fire for a good reason, and that's like normal advice. And so in some ways, like, I hate to give it, but when the cards say it, you know, maybe there's somebody that really needs to hear it. There is new money coming in. There's a new financial opportunity. It could be a gift. It could be a new job. It could be a new stream of income. It could be an idea that you have. But listen for those ideas, okay? Thank you, Gloriana. I really appreciate the feedback when I kind of get one right for somebody. Okay, after Sag comes what? That's 9, so 10 Capricorn. Let's do Capricorn. Clear the deck for our Capricorn friends. What do we need to know for Cappies? I don't know how to turn my notifications off, so all these emails are coming through with the 2020 projections everybody's sending out. We have the winter solstice coming up. Is that tomorrow? On the 21st? Is it the 21st? I don't know what day it is clearly, but happy solstice to you guys. I think that the eclipse on the 25th is going to be kind of intense and interesting on Christmas, right? I'm just kind of clearing the deck for Capricorn here. The sun's about to go in Capricorn, so everybody's going to have their happy birthdays to look out for. All right, Capricorn, it is time to put something down. It's time to put something down that you've been carrying for too long by yourself. It's time, whatever you've been stressing out about or hanging on to or not making a decision about, because it's easier to just kind of stay fixed and simple. It's not working for you anymore. You've got to end it. You've got to say no. You've got to kind of come to completion with it. You've been hanging on for it for too long, and your life is not on hold. You know, you're ready to go. You haven't wanted to do this because this has kind of been easier to not end the thing. And I don't know what the thing is. You know, I don't like to tell people to end relationships. I'm not in the business of that at all. For some people, it could be that. It might be a job that you need to end. It might be a Netflix series that is draining you that you need to quit watching. It could be very simple, fun, basic, easy stuff. It could be very heavy, big life stuff. I don't know, but I do know that there's good news on the way, that your life is right here as soon as you quit. You know, spirit is not that far away. Okay, so that's who is that? Capricorn. So let's clear the deck for 10, 11, Aquarius. Clear the deck for Aquarius. Thanks for the feedback, Elodie, if you're still watching. Okay, we did, we're clearing for Aquarius. So clear for Aquarius. I know some of you guys are stressed out. I've heard from some Aquarius friends lately. Aquarius have their own unique magic. You know, they're a fixed sign too, so it's kind of curious because they're so open-minded. But Aquarius is a fixed sign. You know, when they decide something, it's kind of, that's it. When you think about Aquarius energy, you think about Martin Luther King, you think about Abraham Lincoln. These are the change makers, and they're not taking no for an answer. You know, and sometimes they'll work themselves all the way kind of to a breaking point, because there's, you know, stubborn isn't like the best word, but they're just so fixed on something. Okay, so we're clearing for Aquarius. Okay, these two fell out together. What do we get? The 3 of the Wands and the 4 of Wands. So, you know, again, being in action, wondering if you've made the right decision. The grass is always greener. Maybe some of you are taking a trip overseas, okay, but finding that stability and mobility that I talked about for Scorpio too. If your whole world is chaos, or if you've got too much going on here, or if the emails keep coming in and you're like treading water and just trying to breathe a little bit, how can you keep the peace? You know, what are your spiritual tools to kind of keep you sane through the weekend, through the holiday, through whatever, right? So stability through mobility. What does that look like for you? Does that mean that every day you are committed to your meditation practice no matter what, that you're going to spend at least 20 minutes clearing your mind? Because Aquarius, right, like you can get congested up here super easily. So that might be a good piece of advice for that. Let's see, after Aquarius is Pisces, right? We made it. So I feel like I'm whispering. I can talk freely. Can you guys hear me okay? I don't know why I'm so quiet. So Pisces, let's clear the deck for Pisces. Some extra love and advice for our Pisces friends. What do they need to know or hear for the weekend, for some coming days? Clear for Pisces. All right. Some good, practical, easy advice for Pisces. Pisces, you know, bless you. Like, bless you for being a Pisces. Like, that can be a tough sign sometimes, because you can feel the emotional weight of the world, even from people that aren't in your own household. You can feel so much, and the earlier you learn to not internalize that and to acknowledge it and have the feelings but let them flow, the better, right? Because without that, it can be crazy making. So what's our clear advice for our Pisces friends? Besides cry more, right? Get it out of your system. Clear for Pisces. Ten of Cups. Page of Swords. And the Hanged Man. Okay, so that's a lot of info for Pisces. The Ten of Cups, for me, this is the happy family card. This is the card of emotional fulfillment, of emotional well-being, of maybe you've met somebody that's super interesting, that's karmically related to you, that is going to play a role in your future, right? Maybe you are experiencing something in your love life that is new and different and fulfilling, But then you've got this over here going on. There's a Page of Swords, so that's kind of like something nitpicky. And then there's the Hanged Man, which is don't do anything right now. So if you're feeling nitpicky, if you're feeling nitpicked, don't do anything about it right now, and tap back into this feeling of fulfillment and solution and success and emotional fulfillment. Kind of take care of yourself when you have a victory. Really spend time to celebrate that and let everything else go. Like, let's just focus on the positive right now, Pisces, and don't kind of just stop picking a fight. If you're the one picking the fight, stop it, If you're the one getting picked on, don't react. Either way, the Hanged Man says do nothing, How can you be like a leaf in a fast-moving stream and just kind of keep going with the flow? Things are okay, Keep your focus on what's good, right? All right. Yeah, for Dom, he just had a big victory. He just had a big win. So he continue to celebrate that for him. Okay, so that gets us through the zodiac, Aries all the way to Pisces. I'm going to scroll back through and see if I can address some of your personal questions. I know this is a time when a lot of people want to hop off because they're waiting for their personal question or they're kind of done with it. So before I do that, I just thank you for watching. Our forecast and podcast is available at wiseskies.advice.com, and there's a lot of awesome goodies. Our digital calendar, of course, for 2020. Our workbook for 2020 it's a paperback journal this year. So last year it was a PDF, and so this year it's a printed paperback journal that you can actually write in. It has all the astrology and numerology of 2020. And so I really encourage everybody to get the workbook, get the digital calendar. They go hand in hand. You don't have to know anything. Amanda and I have written it out for you. So those are the two kind of main things I want to encourage everybody to get or gift. If you're wanting to spend no money at all, we've got a lot on our freebies page right now. We've got a 2020 wish map, and we did a sample chapter of our January workbook. Our artist and friend Sasha Boyle of Astrology Mothership did all the art, and it's beautiful. So I want everybody to go to the shop tab at wiseskies.advice.com and just check it out for us. Thanks, Elodie, for the advice that the family readings were spot on. That helps me. And I'll go into the personal readings now. So thank you again. This is free advice. You can take it or leave it. You can have fun with it. And please be sure to pay it forward to somebody. That's why we do these, so that we can give something and you can kind of carry the torch and pay it forward to somebody else too. All right, so Kim is saying she got some bad news and she'd like a card. I guess you don't want more bad news, huh? You want some good news? So Kim, what kind of advice can we give Miss Kim here? Okay, 2 wanted to come out. Yeah, so here's what came out. The Ten of Swords and the King of Coins. So I don't know if your call was financially related or if it will be, or if it will have financial implications that are mega, but know this, the Ten of Swords, it looks like a super bad card, right? Know this, the Ten of Swords means the worst is over. Okay, so what you're going through or what you're about to go through, know that this is as tough as it's going to get. Okay, so, okay, it was financial, so thank you, Kim, for clarifying that, and just know that It's tough. It looks bad. There's 10 swords in his back. There's a jaguar going to eat him, right? Or a dog or something. It looks bad. But this is the it. Why do I say that? Because it's the 10. So it's the end. It's the completion of a cycle. And it has to clear out. It couldn't keep going the way it was. It has to clear out. It has to be leveled. And in 2020, as we're approaching this Saturn-Pluto conjunction, where we've got the two coldest, harshest planets that are coming together in Capricorn, with a lot of other things, like Jupiter's moved into Capricorn too. But my advice for almost everybody is to simplify and build the foundation over again. Okay, so what can you reduce, and what can you come to a completion on, and what can you just let wreck? Like, what can you just let fucking blow up and wreck and dissolve and start clean? You know, it might feel awful while you're going through it, but it's serving a purpose for your good. You know, life is happening for you, not to you. All right. And Alicia says that her niece has court in January, and she wants to know what the outcome is looking like. So that's kind of a tricky card to ask when I'm doing a general reading, but let's just see. You know, Alicia, what does Alicia need to know on behalf of her niece, on behalf of her loved one? You know? And remember that these card readings are kind of for now. Anything can change because there's a lot of people involved with court, and there's people that have free will, and there's people that get influenced over their morning cup of coffee, or you know what I mean? So this is a tricky one, but let's just see for funsies. Clear for Alicia. What does she need to know about her niece's court deal? It's happening fast. Yes, we know that. King of Wands, you know, somebody's really actively fighting on this. And then the World card. So I like to get the World card in a reading like this because, you know, and there's a Page of Cups, a message of love here. I like to get the World card because it's a card of completion. It's a card of fulfillment. It's a card of an end of a cycle. So I feel like it's happening fast and it's kind of ugly, but it's not going to last forever. And it's also in her benefit, not her detriment, because the world is usually positive. That doesn't mean she's going to get her way necessarily, but it means that she's right where she's supposed to be, and it's unfolding as you know, divine right timing. Page of Cups, a message of love. So life is happening for her, not to her as well. Having been in court myself multiple times, I know what that feels like. I know that it doesn't always feel like this is happening for me, and it's a time when you can lose your faith. You know, you can lose your interest in staying tied spiritually, because if it doesn't go your way, what does that mean about God? Like, God doesn't love me, I don't trust God. There's lots of fallout that can happen from these situations. So this is a test building, a faith building test. It's a situation where is she going to kind of steer her spiritual life and stay strong, or is she going to use it to flip out? Either way, she's going to come home. She's going to come home to herself. She's going to be more authentically herself than she ever has been. Okay, so that's available for her. Let's see, is there anybody else? So Pam, she says, yay, she loves my readings. Thanks. Will I be financially sound in my retirement? Aries. Okay, so Pam for her retirement. Pam, we did this one, remember? I did this one for you, and it looked really good last time. Let's look again if you're having questions about it, right? What advice can we give Pam in her retirement? Right? All right, curious. So again, the worst is over for you, right? You're at the end of a cycle, a 10. You don't have to fight anymore. It doesn't have to be so hard. And then we've got the Four of Wands here. So we've been talking about this card a lot today, finding stability where your world is chaos. You know, on retirement, you know, if you're having a fixed income, you said I would retire. Okay, all right. So yes, you would retire, and yes, it's a completion of a cycle, and yes, it's about kind of finding your sea legs and finding your balance. Life is different, you know. Some people retire and they get really bored and they can't stand it and they have to do and fulfill. Some people retire and it's life is easier. You know, they spend time relaxing more. They spend time regenerating. They spend time traveling. So if you have decided to retire, know that it was a hard decision. It was not an easy place to be, or maybe you worked really hard for a long time, but this is a card of completion, and this is a card of just kind of finding your way, finding your balance with all of it. The Knight of Coins, you might have another financial opportunity that you may or may not want to take. You might have some gifting opportunities. There might be somebody that's trying to be really generous to you. Consider it. There's lots of Knight energy. So I would say that this is like, even though the retirement and all of that's coming to completion, the Knight energy is like, what do I want to pursue now? What am I going to do now? What am I going to do so that I can look back at the end of my life and not have regrets, or wished I had taken that trip, or wished I had made that video for my kids, or wished I had ... So the Knight energy is like, let's embrace this newness, and what do you want to do now? Really, you're an artist, and it was hard. Yeah, I bet. So, an artist's life is very different than a corporate life, and I wouldn't say that there was anything in there about like being corporate, but it looks like there's some new energy for you to embrace, and kind of a whole new chapter of life, and finding a new version of yourself. I don't know how old you are, but a lot of times, like Chiron could be coming into play. Maybe you're looking more at your purpose instead of you're looking more at the why instead of the how, and that might bring new life, to this chapter of life. Jessica wants, hi Brooke, thanks for my hugs. Jessica wants to, she says, will we win the settlement soon or never? Soon or never? That's it. That's so me, Jessica. I'm like, now or never, black or white, what's the deal? In or out, go. But it's not always that way, and that's a hard lesson for me. So, Jessica, what does she need to know about winning the settlement? Let's clear for her. King of Wands, Page of Wands, Three of Coins, Two of Coins. Alright, so there's not a lot of clarity in this reading for you here. So the page, what came out first was, this is kind of somebody in power acting really childishly and making kind of decisions that affect a lot of people. The Three of Coins, this is about kind of staying focused on the higher aspect of things. Two of Coins is that you're going to have to make a decision. Like maybe there's an offer that you don't like, So an offer that you don't like, a decision that comes at a cost. And so the Ace of Cups is what came out last. This is a positive card of love. So just make the decision, even if it sucks, make the decision that's most loving for you. Okay? So check that out as an option. What's most loving for me? And then Miss One Queen Holloway wants to know if what she's been asking for will come true. The card that fell out was the Hermit, guys. So Miss Holloway, it looks like you just need to spend a little more alone time. It's almost like you already have what you've been asking for is kind of the advice there. So if it's not materialized for you, I would say look within. It's already there. Alright, and Anastasia wants to know her daughter is going through beginning a new life after 12 years in a bad marriage. She's got 4 kiddos. I'm scared to click on this. Okay, it worked. Okay, so Anastasia just wants to know how she can be there for her grandkids and without getting exhausted. So what's some simple advice we can give? This is just a fun card reading, right? There's a lot going on there. It's pretty heavy. I do have a master's in health psychology, but we're just reading cards right now, right? So how can Anastasia best be supported? What does she need to know about supporting her daughter? What's some practical advice she can use from Spirit? All right. So Anastasia, it looks like you've been taking on too much of the weight. So here's this Knight of Coins that's kind of been in your way, and then the Ten of Wands is there, and then the Justice card is there. So I feel like you're trying to protect her from her life lessons. I don't know you, I don't know the circumstances, but with that question, this is kind of the vibe of it, right? Like this is taking on way too much, more than that's yours, and then having kind of karmic influences. So sometimes when we are trying to help people and be loving and kind and supportive, it actually stunts them and kind of slows down their spiritual growth. So trying to not interfere, trying to be supportive in a way that doesn't interfere, in a way that keeps you healthy. Hopefully that makes a little sense. Yeah, eight of coins. So you need to keep a steady schedule. You need to be this person too. Like, you need to, this is what I do from 8 to 10. You know, this is what I do from 10 to 4. This is what I do from 4 to 6, and just kind of have a steady schedule for a while. And that way everybody knows where they fit in. Everybody knows where they can sift and sort and when you're available. That doesn't mean you're completely inflexible, right? It just means it's time to kind of be steady, right? Okay, guys. So I appreciate you guys watching. I hope that you got a little magic today, and I hope that you or pay it forward to somebody that might need it out there. Be patient, you know, when you're driving. Be patient when you're interneting. Be patient with your texts. If you need to take a pause and put the phone down, do that. But let's just take care of ourselves. We've got a big solstice energy coming up on the 21st. Again, the eclipse on the 25th. A lot going on in politics that's reflective of our collective conscious. You know, we're not separate, okay? So just kind of taking a moment to be thoughtful. And if you get nervous, be of service. Get out of your head and do something for somebody else. And thank you. Merry Christmas to you too. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Friday. All right, take care. Namaste.